Susheela, thanks very much for joining us. Just in terms of the key impacts that you're seeing, obviously in your global role, you're seeing that across the world as well as from your base there in Hong Kong. But what are you seeing as the key impacts of the pandemic?
So the first I would say is the acceleration of the impact of digitalization, technology, automation. And we see that the way space is going to be used from a work perspective. We'll see that on how it's impacting living, growth of logistics and data centers. Number two is ESG. So you will see that certainly lots and lots of funds and lots of investments will need to satisfy certain commitments towards sort of sustainable investments. And I think COVID has accelerated that, and it'll be coming sooner than expected. The third one is looking at flows of capital. So where capital flows have always been very globally spreading, there's a great wave of capital. And I think what COVID may have done is force capital to be seemingly local or at least regional. And that's the case. I would add that some of the reasons why that is the case could be political issues or economic reasons, whether it's sanctions or policy driven. But I think COVID may have made because it's hard to travel, it may have made capital stay a little bit more locally. But coming out of COVID, I'm interested to see if that trend will change.
And let's drill down into that first one, Susheela, just in terms of the digitization. I suppose, what have you been seeing and what impact do you think that'll have?
So let's see how digitalization can change the way we work. I mean, we had to work from home and we relied on technology, and people can see that actually our productivity remained high during COVID times anyway. The challenge there is how we measure perhaps performance against productivity. And we won't see the full impact of that. And I think ultimately also humans are social creatures. And even though we've ridden the tide of COVID, I think we'll have to see the true impact on how businesses grow. I also think it's had an impact on the way we live, or the hotel industry offers products. And the big one I'm quite interested to talk about is perhaps potentially the way we raise capital. So traditional ways of raising capital has been through, raising funds or just doing direct deals or joint ventures. I think we will see, because of the blockchain technology, and we've seen how that's developed very quickly, albeit through cryptocurrencies, but perhaps the distributed ledger technology can provide operational efficiency or certainly new ways of lending, which ultimately means you can have a greater reach of investors.
And you mentioned, Susheela, as well, ESG, and certainly we've been seeing an increasing focus on that in terms of impact and sustainability.
I like the silver lining concept. If we've been kinder to the environment because we haven't been able to travel, that's been a positive impact on the environment, then great. And I think lots of people are very conscious of that. In relation to real estate investments, I think there's a huge drive to require funds to commit to sustainable investments or to do some impact investing. So I think if currently there are 25% investments in the portfolio are that way linked, I think in the next 3 years that might even increase to 75%.
Great. Really interesting to catch up, Susheela. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Richard.